episode 20. We're banging these out.
Good?
Yeah.
Going to keep trucking.
He's like, yeah, we banging. All right, so episode 20, we kind of hinted at what we were going to talk about in this episode and the last one. I don't know if any of you guys caught that, but I think a good topic for today would be risk versus reward. But before we get into it, welcome back. Thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed last episode. We hope you enjoy this episode, and we hope you stick around.
This is episode number 20.
Yeah. Well, I think so. So we're going to be recording. We were going to be a little bit sporadic around this holiday, but I believe it's going to be episode 20. If it isn't, please excuse me. It's episode 21. Ready? If I say it wrong, you're going to cut in this voice. It's either episode 20, episode 19, episode 21, episode 22. That you're going to cut that in and put it. I bet. So we kind of hinted at this in the last episode. We're going to talk about risk versus reward within the business industry. And I think there's a lot to talk about because a large aspect of business and starting a business is investing in it. And the higher the risk, potentially means you could either, it's a financial loss. Business could, higher risk means higher risk within the business, but the outcome could be, more profit. It could be, more growth within the company. Mm-hmm. So I think this is a great topic for people to understand how to manage risk, how to, make sure if it's you know what I mean? Is that where you wanted to go with this?
Yeah, especially with like businesses that, they built out good product, good service. They're hitting a plateau. They're stuck at a certain number. Let's just call it $2 million annually, and they can't break.
Good number.
They can't break through that plateau, and say they've been stuck at that plateau for say 5 to 10 years. It's really time to start looking at other things to do differently to help you push through that plateau, and that's going to require taking risk.
Yeah.
So you have to learn first how to break yourself out of that comfort zone to do something different. Don't be set in your ways. Constantly look to improve. But whatever it is that you're looking at, let's say it's something that's going to help you drive more awareness. Say it's a marketing campaign, it's ads, whatever. You're investing in salespeople. Each of those investments are a risk.
Yeah.
It could completely fall flat on its face.
Yeah.
And you have to be prepared to accept that and keep moving forward. But what people need to know and feel confident about is that there's nothing wrong with doing something outside of the norm, because if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to get pretty much the same results.
So yeah, there's a lot of risk versus reward within the business industry, like I said, and I want to help people understand and how to manage those risks, how to manage those types of investments, and how to balance them in a way. So what are the type of risks that you could take in order to be more profitable, in order to grow? What are those risks?
You're investing in different marketing tactics, an overall marketing campaign, a strategy. You're investing in employees that could produce more work to allow you to take on more customers. You could be investing in a piece of equipment that would help you produce more widgets or whatever it is that you produce at a faster rate with lower overhead.
It could be in any industry. You're investing in, having a new product that you're going to be providing, having a new process within, your business to make it, more automated. It's just an investment in your business to make a change, to help grow.
Yeah. So typically the higher the risk, so the more of the financial output, the cash outlay that you need to put out, typically will make an entrepreneur nervous, whether or not they're going to see a return. And that takes some confidence, some courage, some research, speaking to references, things like that, to get a comfort level where you want to proceed forward with that risk. So let's use something that's relevant to what we deal with on a day-to-day basis. Is when we meet with a business owner that wants to grow their business, we tell them, hey, what are you investing right now in the growth of your business? And say they're investing 1% of their top line revenue. We have to educate them on, hey, you should be investing 10% of your top line revenue into the growth of your business. And we'll detect that very soon. But, we get a lot of feedback where people are like, oh, whoa, that's a lot.
Because this implies more risk.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that risk comes with a potential massive upside. So how do people manage these risks? So let's talk about a risk being an investment in your business. Let's talk about like an amount of money you have to spend that's uncomfortable for you because it is a big risk. How do people manage that? How do people make sure that they protect their, protect the investment?
Well, industry adoption is a big piece of reducing the risk or increasing your comfort level. What is the industry? How is the industry currently accepting this new tactic that you're going to add to your wheelhouse? And if it is, you want to look at, okay, who's using it? What type of performance are they getting out of it? Are there any references that you can speak to? Because you're going to get hit up by all different types of companies selling product, service, software. Hey, this can make you 30% more efficient. Okay, that's great. But like, look into it and assess and manage that risk by, again, looking at adoption, looking at what are the expectations.
Yeah.
Have that person trying to get you to invest into that widget or whatever it is, have them present or paint a picture of what you should expect from that. And if it looks promising and if the numbers look good, it's going to require your courage as an entrepreneur to take that step rather than constantly living in fear and not wanting to invest and just want to stay in your little hole. But at the same time, you're like, why aren't my sales growing? Why aren't my sales growing? Well, hey, you need to do things differently. So with like me personally, I've invested heavily into obviously marketing, but also heavy biz dev work where I have a team now that helps us get in front of decision makers or following up on leads. Lead management is huge. A lot of entrepreneurs think they're going to manage all their leads on their own when actually if they had somebody manage the leads for them, it would allow them to work more on the business versus in the business.
Yeah, so I preach this a lot. Fear means no progression. If you have fear within your business, there's no progression because you're thinking what if. You can't think like that within a business. So there's risks, and I say this all the time. There's risks within being an entrepreneur. There's risks within starting up a business. Now I was going to tie this into you have an opportunity at hand. It's different than what you normally do. You've seen a plateau within your business. You want to do something different. You're getting rid of that fear and you're just managing your risk now. Now you're just making sure that you are going to be good if it succeeds or if it fails. Now what I do or what I believe in is all throughout your business, you should always have an account or a separate bank account or whatever you want to call it, where you stack a little bit of money. When you start your business, you should always have the goal to grow. It should always be a goal. And so make sure that you are setting yourself up for that. Maybe you take a little bit less margins, maybe you sacrifice a little bit of this to be able to stack up a little bit of money in that. When you have that money aside, that's not really set for anything. It's set for a change in your company. It's set for investments within your company. Then, you've started this from the beginning. So then when the opportunity comes up to invest into a change within your company, to invest in something that's a risk, you're investing in a risk, then you're not too worried about it. Hey, I have this extra cash. Let me put this in there. Let me test it out. Let me make sure it works. And when it's working, I'm going to put all the rest of my money. I'm going to put a flow of cash into that investment, and it's going to help me grow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can't fear is one of the biggest obstacles to get over when you're trying to make a somewhat risky investment into your business, and you need to focus on the reward you're going to get from that investment, from that risk. So you have to weigh and balance that, and you have to have some vision, and you got to have some faith. And you got to find the right team members or the right vendors or the right technology that will position you to get over those obstacles so you can get that reward. And the 100%. Reward in this type of analogy I'm giving you is breaking through that plateau. So many business owners just feel comfortable hovering around $1 million a year. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing to get the word out there? And they're like, oh, I do word of mouth and I do, this. And I'm like, no. Just imagine if you took 10% of your top line revenue, invested that in the growth of your business, just imagine what you would get out of it. You can 10x whatever performance you see every single year. You can 10x that in your mind. If you take 1%, bump that up to 10%, So hypothetically, if you do $1 million a year, you should be investing $100,000 a year into the growth of your business, hands down. Specifically,
Into the growth of your business.
yeah. And what drives growth? What's the seed to a sale? Is marketing. Advertising, pushing your brand, getting the word out there, publishing content, getting in front of more eyeballs. That's what it's about. You need to keep that constant flow of attention on your business, because there are going to be people who, maybe they might know somebody that might do one thing that you might, or one of the things that you might do, but you do so many other things and you can provide more value.
Yeah.
It's better for a business owner to take that risk and find, again, the right technology, the right tactics, the right team of people. Make sure before you are taking these risks that you are properly vetting them. You are asking questions. Show me examples. Let me talk to references. Don't just take what they say for face value.
Yeah.
Again, you're dealing with salespeople, and you want to make sure, hey, because the salesperson might be overly excited, you want to go, hey, show me some examples. Let me talk to a few of your customers, and then that will allow you to get into risk management, where you reduce your risk by assessing what exactly is going on. Is there someone else in your industry doing this? But there's also a disclaimer with that. You don't want to do something just because everyone in your industry is doing.
You want to travel a path less traveled. And I'm going to say this. We say this all the time, but you're saying it. You're just saying it in different words. You got to be different. You can't follow the masses. And we're going to have to make a montage of every single time we say be different, because
Decommoditization.
Be different.
Decom.
But okay, so we've kind of talked about, making the investment with money, and, investing in marketing and the growth of your company. What are other types of risks that you can take within your company in order to grow? What are other risks that
hiring more employees?
Okay, yeah.
So you can take on more work.
Yeah.
But you have to make sure that you, again, just like vetting the risk of, let's say, a service or a marketing campaign, you have to vet those employees properly and look at their portfolio, look at their work, call their former employer.
Yeah.
I want to say employees are one of the biggest risks, because someone will sit there, with their resume and say, hey, I can do X, Y, Z. And then they come on board and you're like, what's going on?
Yeah. You got to do your research.
Yeah.
Due diligence.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you don't know. And I remember this guy, he owned a sheet metal company, older guy, pretty much retired right now. He gave me a little bit of business advice. He says, you don't know until you put them to work unless whether or not they can perform. You don't know. So throughout my career, I've met people who are rock stars, and I met people who kind of wish they were.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the drive and the motivation and to position yourself, and you want to get the job. But yeah, like every once in a while we run into situations, even with vendors. Like we've had vendors come to us and they promise us everything under the sun. They say they're going to do X, Y, Z, and we're working with them, and we're like, I'm always about giving people a fair chance.
Yeah.
But
benefit of the doubt. Yeah. Of course.
Give them a fair chance. Stuff takes time.
Yeah.
But then you start to kind of detect that maybe they're not a fit, and you have to move on.
Yeah.
Because time is everything, and if enough time is going by, you're losing half the year, and you got to act quickly. So yeah, when it comes to taking risks in your business, you always have to focus on the reward. Make sure you are assessing that risk.
Yes.
Manage that risk. Do your due diligence. But don't be scared to take that risk, because if you don't take the step, you're not going to ever get that reward.
It's all about mindset. It's all about perspective. Yeah. With fear, there is no progression.
10% of your top line revenue. Don't
That's
forget
the key
that.
To success.
Don't forget that.
All right, cool.